Have you noticed that sometimes the world around you can be chaotic, yet somehow you remain calm within? The inner peace and quietness within protects us from the noise outside. This is Auntie Tonya with Asa Reality Conversational. Welcome to the Asa Reality Podcast with Auntie Tonya, your humble and dedicated host. Today, I express gratitude to all my listeners and supporters. Thank you for spending these moments with me, for listening, sharing, commenting, and encouraging the ASA Reality Podcast. This is helping me grow. And this is where we share real life experiences that inspire health, well-being, and motivation. Today, I want us to have a conversation. A conversation about something we don't always talk about. The quietness and inner peace within. The quietness and inner peace within. There is a kind of quietness that has nothing to do with the absence of sound. It is the quietness within that takes place inside of us, where we can pause, breathe, think, reflect, pray, and simply be. And sometimes that quietness is what protects us from the noise outside. Because there is so much noise around us. Noise from people, noise from opinions, noise from social media, noise from family situations, noise from disappointments, expectations, and criticism and conflict. And if we are not careful, all that outside noise can become an inside noise. We begin reacting instead of responding. We lose our peace. We carry conversations long after they have ended. We replay what somebody said and wonder why they said it. It's amazing how human nature works. Oh boy, it happens to all of us. We become angry, hurt, frustrated, or disappointed. And sometimes we allow someone else's behavior to disturb a peace that took us years to develop. Have you ever allowed something someone said or did to disturb your peace long after the situation was over? Think about that for a moment. We live in a world filled with noise. We wake up and reach for our phones, messages, news, social media, opinions, good news, bad news, indifferent news, someone else's problem, someone else's success, someone else's lifestyle. And before we have time to gather ourselves, the outside world has already entered our minds and engulfed us. This is why we need moments of quiet. We need to step away. We need to breathe. We need to pray. We need meditation. We need time when nobody is demanding anything from us. Because a noisy environment can eventually create a noisy mind. And a noisy mind can make it difficult to hear what is really happening within us. Another question. When was the last time you deliberately gave yourself some quiet time without the phone, television, social media, or outside distraction? Maybe we need more of that. Protect your inner peace. I believe we have to become guardians of our inner peace, inner space. We have to be our own gatekeeper sometimes. Everyone does not deserve access to our peace. Everyone does not deserve a response. Everyone does not deserve an explanation. And everyone certainly does not deserve the power to determine how we feel about ourselves. That does not mean we ignore problems. It means we deal with problems from a place of stability rather than chaos. There is a difference between reacting and responding. A reaction can be immediate. A response gives you time to think. And this episode is really a learning curve for all of us. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can say is, "Let me think about it." Or, "I choose not to engage in this conversation." This is not weakness. This is emotional discipline. Ask yourself, am I responding to life or am I constantly reacting it? This is a question worth sitting with for most of us. Quiet does not mean weak. Sometimes people misunderstand quiet people. They may wonder, why isn't she saying anything? Why isn't he fighting back? But then again, some people use quietness to ignore you. Some people use quietness to insult you. And sometimes the conversation becomes a one-way street. But maybe that person has learned something. Perhaps they have learned that peace is more valuable than proving a point. But when communication becomes strained because of silence and no emotion, how do we get our point across? Perhaps they have learned that not every disagreement needs a winner. And that's understandable. But you remain quiet in every conversation, every personal conversation, but you are right there with other people's conversation. It doesn't add up. Perhaps they have learned that protecting their emotional and mental space is part of taking care of themselves. Quietness does not mean you have nothing to say. Sometimes it means you have finally learned when your words are necessary and when your peace is more important. When the quietness within becomes your strength, there will be seasons in life when everything around you seems noisy, but cannot penetrate your inner thoughts. Family challenges, financial concerns, health concerns, workplace problems, change in relationship, losses, disappointments, uncertainty about the future. And during those moments, you may not be able to control what is happening around you. But you can begin to ask, what can I control within me? Can I control how I respond? Can I protect my thoughts? Can I choose what I allow to occupy my mind? Can I take time to pray? Can I seek wise counseling? Can I give myself permission to rest? Can I stop allowing yesterday's problems to occupy today's mind? But can we also find space and quiet moments to resolve unresolved conflicts and have sensible dialogue? These are small things, but they can become powerful tools. How about a moment of reflection? So I want you to pause with me. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, what is making the most noise in my mind right now? In my life right now? Is it a person? Is it a situation? A relationship? Social media? Fear? Regrets? Something someone said to you? Or perhaps it is something you keep saying to yourself. Take that moment and reflect. Let's do it together. What can I do to create more quietness within? Maybe we need 5 minutes of silence. Maybe we need prayer. Maybe we need meditation, a walk outside, turning off the phone, an honest conversation. Or just maybe you simply need to stop carrying something that was never yours to carry. In closing, we should remember life will always have noise. We cannot control everything that happens outside of us. People will talk. People will disagree. Circumstances will change. Unexpected things will happen. But we can develop a place of quietness within. A place where we breathe. A place where we can think, pray, regain our perspective. And perhaps that is one of the greatest forms of protection we can give. My dear friends, my dear listeners, final questions. Before you leave this conversation, I want you to think about 3 things. What noise do I need to release? For me personally, the noise I need to release is the one that bothers me when somebody near and dear to me upsets me and ignores me, and still turn around and shift the blame as to make you the bad guy. I need to not let this get the better of me, because I realize that change I'm looking for will not come. Another question: what peace do I need to protect? And what can I do today to create more quietness within me? Well, I can follow the advice given. Meditation, quiet moments, a walk, a swim. Just close the door and pretend that nobody else exists. Sometimes the answer comes when we become quiet enough to hear it. There is a beautiful saying: peace is not the absence of noise, it is the presence of calm within. And perhaps this is what we need to remember. When the world outside becomes loud, don't allow the noise to become louder than the peace within you. Protect your quietness, protect your thoughts, protect your peace. And remember, the quietness within can protect you, can protect us from the noise outside. If this conversation touched you, share it with someone who may need a little quietness in their life today. Share it with a friend, share it with family, and don't keep the message to yourself, because sometimes the person who needs it, the encouragement, may be the person who never asked for it. That is so true. Silent sufferers. Thank you for listening, supporting, and being part of the Asa Reality Podcast. Stay encouraged, stay blessed, stay motivated. This is Auntie Tonya. Thank you. Blessings and bye-bye.